Hatching in AutoCAD used to be a very difficult thing to do. You used to have to have a unique boundary, otherwise it'd cause all sorts of problems. But in recent versions of AutoCAD it's much easier, and it's quite a simple exercise now. So what we'll do is have a look at putting the hatching on our bracket drawing. What we're wanting to do is finish up with this hatching at the end of the day. So here's our bracket drawing without any hatching. Under the draw menu we've got a pull down up here for hatching. There's a couple of different options here: hatch, gradient, boundary. We'll just deal with hatch. Gradient gives you pretty colours. You can shade from one colour to the other, or a solid colour. So let's just look at hatch, and we have to choose our pattern first of all. If we're working, there's quite a few patterns available. If we're working in engineering, we would normally just use ANSI 31. That's the symbol for steel, pattern for steel. All we have to do is pick points. So we just click within the area that we want to hatch, like so, and it casts out to find the boundary and puts the hatch in. Now there's one thing that I have forgotten, and that is to put it on the correct layer. So we'll fix that in a second. Before we leave this though, we do have the angle. So if you've got two hatch areas right next to each other, then you would normally rotate the angle of that second hatch normally by 90 degrees. So this is done here in the angle, and sometimes you will need to scale it, so it'll be too fine or it'll be too coarse, so you will need to apply a scale factor here just by changing that number. So we'll just close that, and of course I've placed that on the wrong layer, so we better just make sure that we've got a hatch layer. We do, so that should have been my current layer, and what I should have done was actually, I can get it through the properties. If I open up the properties, it tells me that it's on the center layer, and I want it to be on the hatch layer. Okay, so that's usually what happens. You go off drawing and then realize that you're on the wrong layer.